Hi, welcome back. I am Stephanie. I like to vlog and reflect on media culture and everyday life. I got my start on TikTok. I used to post daily culture commentary, and when the whole thing with TikTok happened, I decided to download all my videos. And I was watching some of them back, and I was like, there's some good stuff in here. So I thought I would compile them and post them to YouTube and just have everything in one place. So here are my videos critiquing influencer culture.
Manifesting is the technique used by influencers, like unintentionally and probably unknowingly, to make their lives seem attainable. I'm gonna read out a thesis by Debord. This is thesis 60 about celebrities. The celebrity, the spectacular representation of a living human being, embodies this banality by embodying the image of a possible role. Being a star means specializing in the seemingly lived. Celebrities exist to act out various styles of living and viewing society, unfettered, free to express themselves globally. They embody the inaccessible result of social labor by dramatizing its byproducts, magically projected above it as its goal, power and vacations, decision and consumption, which are the beginning and end of an undiscussed process. Do not let this whole manifestation thing make you feel guilty for not being where you are. Manifesting is the equivalent of picking yourselves up by the bootstraps, but it's just in a different light. Wanting to be an influencer seems like the new way to beat the system, and it reminds me a lot of MLMs because there's like similar language around it. So I wrote a couple down. Like MLMs, you too don't have to work a 9-to-5 if you become an influencer. You too can work from home and control your schedule because you are the boss. You too can have passive income from the creator fund and YouTube ads. You too can have all of these products, but only if you invest your time, your energy, and you follow all of these steps. And of course, with like influencing I guess you are making money for the companies, but like there's no upline and downline and stuff like that, but there are same vibes. Social media really accelerated the loss of human decency, and Henri Lefebvre wrote about how technology is moving us from the human to the inhuman, and I'm really cherry picking that sentence here because I haven't read the rest of the book, but social media really is moving us from the human to the inhuman, because what do you mean we're filming people and putting them online and making fun of them? And with everybody having like a social platform now, people are using other people as props to gain virality and get followers, but like you're not being nice. And I'm also thinking about how TMZ posted about Liam's death like right after it happened, and we're not considering like how his family feels when they find out via social media. Like, we are using people as props just so that we can be the first one to post. I do think that this move would have happened eventually, and that is me kind of being critical about like society as a whole, I guess, but I do think social media really exacerbated it, and maybe it's not actually worsening, maybe social media is just like amplifying these behaviors. But still, even if it is amplifying, I think it still is like moving from that human to the inhuman, because without social media, would it be amplified, and would we be moving more towards the inhuman? I don't know, I'm just talking at this point, but yeah, social media really accelerated the loss of human decency. When influencers vlog like a day in the life or a week in the life, and they show that on one day they went and got coffee in the morning, and then it skips and it shows them at home like packing for the Hamptons. What do they do between morning coffee and packing at 6 p.m.? Like, I just watched a vlog and she went and got coffee, and then the next clip is her packing, and she was like, oh, I went and got a pedicure. But like, what else did you do in that day? So my podcast co-host Grant and I, we talked about this on an episode of Media Culture and Why We Feel Like Crying So Much. We listened to Emma Chamberlain's Day in the Life podcast episode, and we were talking about what influencers decide to show and how we talk about our day. Like, what do we include when we talk about our day? So Emma Chamberlain talked about like how she makes her coffee, what water bottle she uses to drink water, how she goes to the bathroom. And then this other influencer, her day consisted of going and getting coffee, no footage of her getting a pedicure, and then packing for the Hamptons at 6 p.m. Like, what did you do in that day? What do you mean people are water influencers? And I know this practice has been going on for a while now, but water is a basic human necessity. Like, what do you mean we have influencers promoting water? And we value commodities over intellectual spaces, the arts, social good, like libraries and stuff. This leads to every celebrity and content creator coming out with a product. This is what happens when products are placed at the center of social life and we just value commodification over everything. The influencer life is not a creative life. I've seen so many videos of people telling other people to post the video and follow their creative dream. But being an influencer is not being creative. Being an influencer is to sell a product, to sell a lifestyle, the American dream of working for yourself and getting out of the 9-to-5 machine and getting products sent to you and going on brand deals. That's not a creative life. You're living a great life, one can say, but that's not a creative life. And I understand that having a big social media following can lead to a creative life. I know publishing right now wants authors to have a big following base, and it can get you closer to a book deal, and it can get you closer to becoming an artist or whatever because you have that time for yourself. But wanting to be an influencer just so that you get products into you is not a creative life. I love a What's in My Bag video, but what are they selling us? They're selling us a sense of intimacy and connection with these celebrities. Yes, they're also selling us the bag and the contents of the bag and all the beauty products, but this is a really easy way for us to feel like we are relating to these celebrities, that they're just like us. When Gigi Hadid had like baby toys in her bag, or when Sydney Sweeney had really old gum in her bag. We always say that we really know a person through the contents of their bag, and this is a really easy way to, one, get content, but also sell us this sense of intimacy and connection. Louis Vuitton Neverfull is prime example of the culture industry at work and how the industry manufactures desire and this want so they can sell you a product. The Louis Vuitton Neverfull was in for a while and then it was out, replaced by the Goyard bag, and now it is back because Louis Vuitton sent that bag to a bunch of influencers, and the influencers are doing unboxings and being like, the Neverfull is back. We love the Neverfull. Where was this energy before the company made that marketing decision just to bring a product back into the cycle? We shouldn't even be creating this system where there's an in bag or an out bag and people feel embarrassed to use the bags that they have right now and it sits in the back of their closet. And then something like this happens when an influencer or many influencers and companies deem that it's this bag's moment again, and they're like, oh, now I can use this thing that I have had for years. And I understand that this cycle makes it so that there's always a new it bag to buy. But I guess in critiquing this one thing, I am critiquing the entire process of manufactured desire and like things being in and out. Did you start any of the many November media challenges that happened yesterday, like NaNoWriMo? The other ones are slipping my mind, but a lot of people start things on November 1st and things happen, you know? And there's this need to participate. I feel like especially with social media, there are all of these challenges that people do together with the best intentions, but then it sets up this like expectation of how our everyday lives are supposed to be. So like influencers in their place as celebrities, they model this like idealized version of a life, whereas like us in the everyday life can't really do that. Our days aren't structured the same way. Our expectations aren't enforced on us in the same way. And our everyday lives just look different, but these influencers are our models for everyday life. If you started something yesterday and you immediately put it down, that's okay. You don't have to keep up. Like, you don't have to put this like pressure on yourself and have your entire month ruined on the second day. Influencers' job in society is to promote constant consumption, and it's interesting to see how influencers are responding in this post-election season. Marketing and influencers are trying their hardest to make sure that we keep consuming. They are trying to convince us that we should still care about the way we look, about having the latest bag, about how to be the cozy it girl during the winter when it is currently 80 degrees outside. Influencers' jobs in society are to continuously promote consumption. They perpetuate this ideology of capitalism. They also show us this like idealized way of being and being social and interacting with the economy. We have greater things to worry about right now than being the it girl this winter season. Do we remember when influencers were shopping at like Bath and Body Works and Forever 21, and now they're buying candles that are like $800 and buying dresses that are like $2,000. And you know, fast fashion is bad, but influencers and that access have gotten so inaccessible that, like, what are they influencing? Well, I actually know the answer to this. They're influencing a lifestyle. They are influencing this grand social life, this grand life where you can afford an $800 candle. Like, why would you shop at Bath and Body Works if you can afford an $800 candle? Isn't this what you want to do with your life? But yeah, I hating fast fashion. I do low-key miss when influencers were shopping at like Bath and Body Works, and it was more achievable for me to like get their life. We need to go back to chocolate advent calendars. This was a selling point. Quince has a jewelry advent calendar box for under $1,000. It was like $900 and something dollars. One, why the fuck are you spending that much on a advent calendar? Buy a $5 chocolate one if you want to count down to the holiday. And now we're just buying things to buy them. Like, we have this thing, it's a gamble. It's a gamble. We are no longer purchasing. We are gambling with our money to see what product that we're getting. I cannot even like put into words how much you don't need this. You're taking a holiday act of counting down to the holiday, which was already kind of like, anyway, whatever. I'm not even going to go into that. But you don't need 25 pieces of new jewelry. What happened to thoughtfully, intentionally buying something? What happened to getting jewelry gifted to you? You don't need to spend hundreds. We're buying things to buy them. You don't need it. Don't buy it. What do you mean we weren't wearing skinny jeans and then Alex Earl wore skinny jeans, so now they're back in? It's really giving Regina George, and it's really a prime example of the role of celebrity in our culture. David Marshall did research back in 2010 about the role of celebrity. Influencers are celebrities. They're celebrified everyday people. And he said that celebrity taught generations how to engage and use consumer culture to make oneself. Cultural critics identified how the individual had to be taught how to consume and recognize the value of consumption for their benefit.